Okay, I also need to talk about one time I was really trifling because I'm not innocent. I don't want any of the stuff that I'm uploading to sound one-sided, like everything was against me, and everybody was horrible to me when I've been horrible to people too. Okay, so when I first moved to Dallas, I met this guy named Brian Davis. His middle name was Beto, Beedo, and he went by the name Beto. He went by his middle name. He didn't go by his first name. So, he and I was spending like some intimate time together, and then I was like, this is the first year I was living in Dallas. I was like, well, have you ever been to Pride in Atlanta? And he was like, no. I was like, oh my God, you've got to go. He was like, well, you should take me. I was like, okay, that's cool, because I'm going. So we can, but I have to drive, so you can ride with me. He was like, okay, that's cool. And this is when I had my Honda Accord. I had like a 97 Honda Accord. It was only like 2 years old. So I wasn't worried about having any car troubles or anything getting there and getting back. Baby, we hopped in the car and drove to Atlanta. He got the hotel room with a discount from a family member that he has that works with the Marriott. So we paid like $25 a night, and we stayed in Buckhead at a Marriott Suites or something like that. I think it was, yeah, because they had like a kitchenette inside the room and everything. So at the time, I still had a crush that carried over because when I was in Nashville, I had a crush on this guy named Lawrence Durrell White. And Lawrence was going to be in Atlanta at the same time for Pride. Now, keep in mind that I moved to Dallas, but I was still kind of talking to Lawrence at the time. I think while I was there, Lawrence had moved to DC. Yeah, within that first year, he graduated from Tennessee State University, and then he moved to DC. So he was down. So I kind of felt like I wasn't going to get a chance to see him really that much because he lived in DC. He wasn't living in Nashville. So I wasn't, like, when I go back to visit Nashville, I wasn't going to be able to see him. So he was in DC and he flew down to Atlanta for Pride weekend, and me and Beto was in a room together. So while we was chilling, waiting to get ready to go to the mall because the mall was going to get packed at like sometime in the afternoon, but it was kind of early in the morning. It was like 11 a.m. and we knew that no one's going to be there at the mall that early, and there was really nothing to do. So me and Beto were chilling in the room. Lawrence sent me a message and said that he wanted to stop by the hotel. I was like, okay, cool. But he wanted to come up into the room and for us to have a three-way. But then I was like, I don't think he's going to go for that. So when Lawrence got to the hotel, he parked in the garage. And I was like, I'm going to go downstairs to meet my friend, and I'll be right back. He was like, okay, cool. I'll go downstairs to the garage, and me and Lawrence have sex in the car, in the garage at the hotel, while Beto was up in the room that he got a discount for on our trip to Atlanta. And we were like just a little bit dating. There was no like actual commitment yet. It was like in the beginning stages of a relationship type thing. And so me and Darrell had sex in the car. And then he was like, well, why you didn't invite me up to meet your fiance? I was like, I don't think that he would go for a three-way. He was like, okay. And so after we finished, he got in his car and he left, and I just went back upstairs and I just acted like everything was cool for the rest of the weekend. But I think he kind of figured out what I went downstairs and did. He just didn't say anything. But now that I look back on it, that was some trifling shit that I did. I should not have done that. So now Beto doesn't really talk to me, which if he knew about what I did, or he assumed, this is probably the reason why he's like not too anxious to reconnect with me anyway. So Yep, I was a trifling hooker.